Previously on the Embracing the Journey podcast.
I am autistic, so...
Do people make fun of you?
I still get that a lot, yes.
What do they say?
You'll never be nobody. You can't function the same way we can. They don't know what they're missing out on, honestly. I know I can make a difference no matter what people say. There's so many people who try to stop me, and honestly, I just can't hold me down anymore.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Embracing the Journey podcast. This is season 2. I'm so excited to be here, and I'm glad that you guys are tuning in. My team and I had the luxury of flying over to Indiana and spending some time at the American Licorice headquarters, where we got to hang out with 4 new individuals from the Indiana Boys and Girls Clubs. So what we're going to do this month is we're going to do 4 mini episodes highlighting each kid and the things that they've overcome, the things that they may be going through, and then future goals. We hope that you guys stick along and join us for the ride. I'll see you guys soon. Got a question for you.
Okay.
What's it like being a 15-year-old this day and age?
More like a roller coaster, you know?
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, there's tons of ups and downs to everything.
Tell me some. I'm not 15, by the way.
Oh,
Just
okay.
putting it out there.
It's okay. I get why you're asking. I guess it's more like there's so many different changes throughout the world from, like, especially when your parents have lived and, like, done school, you know, to where you are now. Mm-hmm. And it's like a lot of parents don't understand how different it is now with society, I guess, really. I mean, racism never went away. I mean, there's gender differences, sexuality differences, like so much in the society itself that it's really hard to get used to, because it's like you got to learn all these different things now. And your parents don't even know half of it, so they're just like, oh, well, it's stupid or it's whatever. And it's like, well, actually, this is what we live with now. And especially being at 15, the technology access we have access to, like, everything. Like, anything we want to know or find out is from our fingers, from our phones, our computers. So it's, like, easy to find anything out. And a lot of people kind of just cheat the life.
Right.
They just have access to Google or whatever.
Has any of that stuff affected you personally?
Yeah, actually, I'm a Christian, but I'm also kind of experiencing, like, different experiences. Like, I like exploring, trying new things, and because of that, I'm also Hispanic, so I get made fun of a lot. Not too often, but often, you know, and I work for a landscaping company with my dad, and there was a time where a guy actually, like, what did he do? He, like, drove past us and actually called us a racial slur, because there was only one white guy actually working. So, I mean, I experience, like, racism, like, kind of in an everyday life, as well as sexualities. I mean, I'm very masculine, and a lot of people just consider me gay, and it's like, well, it's not true. You know, it's like you just assume. A lot of people just assume just by looking at you. It's like, what's that saying? Judge a book by its cover. Yeah. A lot of people do that.
So you're working with your dad with a landscaping business, mm-hmm. and random person drives past and yells a racial slur. Mm-hmm. How old were you at that time?
13.
How'd that make you feel?
Very hurtful, and I don't think I understood it very well until I saw the look on my dad's face. And obviously 2 years later, I realized that was not okay to say. But at the time, I didn't know that differences like that could be used as an insult, you know, and granted, I'm mature and I'm very educated, but it was like something I never really felt like would occur. Yeah. Especially because I'm like 75% Mexican, you know.
And you're a young child.
Yeah, and I'm in Indiana. Like, it's not like I came from Mexico. So it's just very hard, I guess, realizing that people are cruel. No matter kind of, you could have really good people, and it's really hard understanding that there isn't actually very many good people out there. They're actually more cruel than you think.
Does this happen at school as well?
Not so much. I mean, a lot of people don't like getting caught in general. But sometimes, yeah. Or even, like, at first it was just, you know, a few friends joking around, because I have actually a Mexican friend group. So we all joke around and play with each other.
Sorry to cut you off, is the Mexican friend group on purpose? Or is that just who you feel comfortable with?
Honestly, it just kind of happened. Like, we just became friends. Like, I'm friends with whoever I want to be friends with, basically. And we just kind of were friends, and it's just like all of us kind of had that similarity, so it grew us closer. Because we've all experienced something like that before. So we, like, you know,
Think
joke around
about
with
what
one
you
another.
just said.
I mean,
Your entire friend group, they've all had similar experiences.
yeah,
That's sad.
it is.
That's devastating.
Right, knowing how cruel the world is, only at 15.
15.
Yeah.
So you spoke on gender and sexuality. Do people misgender you?
No, I hope not. From what I've heard, no. But I mean, it's just like our parents, I mean, it wasn't as common when our parents were in school. So it was like, you know, a female is a female, male's a male, even when it came to dating opposite sex. But now it is not much of that. You know, anybody could have any different kinds of parts of their self. They can change it, they can develop new things, and it's like you can date the same sex. And I feel like there's nothing wrong with that. You love whoever you want to love. But other people can be very homophobic about it and even genderphobic. And it's just very hard because it's like I could be friends with somebody like that and they're making fun of them. And it's like, why? I don't understand why anybody makes fun of them. And it's like, part of me is like, well, are you just jealous or are you just cruel?
Right.
And
And why is it
very
their
weird.
business?
Exactly. It's like it has nothing to do with you.
What does genderphobic mean to you?
Hating, like, I feel like it could be both ways. I guess you could hate the body you're in and want to change, or you could hate those that change their body, because there's a lot of transgender as well. So a lot of people will be hated because of that, because they didn't feel comfortable in their own skin. And even that itself, I feel like, is a problem, because a lot of people can make them not feel comfortable in their own skin, and that's not okay. Anybody should be comfortable with whoever they want to be.
Let me ask you this. I know you're young. How would it be for you right now to have a kid in high school knowing what it is that you know? Would you feel uncomfortable?
Not really. Like, I have no problem, like, sharing my knowledge as well. And I honestly have no problem with how anybody wants to be in their life. Everybody has that choice to become who they want to become, whether that's gender-wise, race-wise, sexuality-wise. No matter what it is, you could choose to be who you want, and I will be there to support them. And even if I had a problem with it, which I don't think I would, but I'd make that known in a way where I'd be like, I'm not okay with it, but I support you because I love you. You know, like,
Right.
I would still want to make sure they feel supported and included just because they're a little different. I don't like those that make fun of those that are different.
Would you feel comfortable sending your child to high school knowing what it is that you've been up against and the way that the world is?
I don't know. I feel like it'd be very hard on them if they went through what I went through. But also at that point in time, maybe it could be different. But if I had a child that's going to school, like if I was in my mom's position, there's not much you can do except just be there for them.
Right.
Give them someone to talk to. If they're having problems, like, make sure your communication. Like, you don't want to lack communication with your child. You don't know what they're going through.
How's the relationship with your mom?
Pretty healthy, I feel like. I mean, everybody has, you know, their own little thing going on, and I'm going through a lot as a 15-year-old, but I was in a dark space a few months ago, and my mom was really, like, the person that really helped get out of it.
Right.
And helped me find better people and get out of the bubble I was in.
Was the dark space from school, family stuff, personal stuff?
Everything.
Everything.
I bottled things up
Yeah.
as a teenager, and that's not okay to do because eventually you crack, and that's what I did. I bottled everything up because I suffered from losses of family members, just family trauma, school itself. I wasn't very liked in school in the beginning. So all of that stress, and then being a freshman, you know, I was like, I got all these responsibilities now, having to balance like 9 different classes and all these grades, and it was a lot. So all I did was bottle it up, and eventually I cracked.
Yeah. What do you mean when you say you cracked?
Well, I acted out. I constantly had an attitude. I was mean to those, and I got involved in the wrong people, and I tried things to try them, but at the same time, it became a bad habit.
Right.
Like, it just, the experiences and the access I had to things was so, like, right in front of me.
Right.
And I was like, you know what else? What do I got to lose? You know, and I just did all kinds of things that I shouldn't have done.
Unstoppable. What makes you different makes you great.
Embrace your punch.
I do want you to know this is a safe space. And you can be as open as you want. Because there's kids out there, right, that are not as strong as you. And if you've experienced things and tried things for the first time and you're able to walk away from them, let's take a second and reflect on what you just said. And let's look at the people that aren't strong enough to walk away from that kind of stuff. So it's interesting to hear that you said that you cracked. And it's an interesting use of words, primarily because I think you just reached your boiling point. And I'm like you. I bottle things up and I don't let them out the way that they should. It gets to a point where it's fight or flight, for me at least. Yeah. As an adult now, when I get in that headspace, I have to remind myself, this too will pass. This will go away. This is not going to be forever. But decisions that I make while I'm in this mode have everlasting effects. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So I'm listening to you speak and I'm looking at you and I can tell that that you want more for yourself than what's been given to you every single day, whether it's at school or at home or with friends or whatever. One thing one of my coaches told me, it's right before you quit or give up, a miracle happens. You're close to a miracle. I'm not saying that you're going to give up, but you're close to one, and I can feel it. And maybe a few months, few years, few days from now, you may look back at this conversation and ask yourself, how did he know? I could tell from the moment that you walked in, I could tell from a mile away that there was something about you that was just different. When was the last time somebody told you that they were proud of you?
Well, I guess other than my mom, maybe a few months ago.
How'd it feel?
I mean, it felt great being appreciated for something. And as the oldest, I don't get appreciated very much. It's always about the younger siblings, which great for them. But I was never really appreciated as much once my brothers were born.
Yeah. And once they were born, you had an additional job and task, didn't you?
Yeah. It's actually part of who I am.
Right.
Like, it definitely developed who I am now, having that responsibility of looking out for someone other than a friend and family. Like,
Do you like it?
For the most part. I mean, when they're not, a butthole half the time. But yeah, I've definitely inspired both my brothers just through life. They've learned from me and from my experiences, and I'm just someone for them to come to. They both look up to me.
Can I tell you a secret?
Sure.
You're important. You really are. And you deserve to hear that a lot more.
Thank you.
And you are appreciated. People just don't know how to say it, but they'll show it in ways that probably aren't conventional to the way that you may receive it. But they see your hard work. They see your sacrifice. And they see what it is that you do every single day to be great. The question is do you?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, there's times where I'm like, I did something and I'm proud of myself. Yeah. And then there's other times where it's like, I could have done better, or where I'm just like, meh about it, because I don't feel appreciated enough to want to honor what I did. And it can get to the point where I shut down and I turn away from a lot of problems because I'm afraid to get hurt. But I feel like more or less I turn away from things if I'm not appreciated about it, because I feel like I'm proud of myself, but nobody else seems to recognize that. So it's like, well, why should I be proud of it then?
For sure. And that's understandable. I'm going to tell you an interesting thing about being hurt. How many things in life have you actually wanted and tried everything in your power to get?
Very few.
Very few. Were you hurt?
Yeah.
So I say that to say this. If you've never tried to put yourself out there or to take the risk, you'll never know what the result is. You took a risk by walking in this room with a complete stranger today, given everything that you've been up against. And you're sitting down having the most vulnerable conversation you could possibly have in a room full of strangers. Are you afraid of being hurt here?
Not really.
You want to know why?
Why?
Because they got to get through me to get to you. And I'm not going to let that happen. Do you feel appreciated about that?
I do.
It's a safe space, and it's your space. You put yourself out here, and everybody in this room wants to make sure that you're okay. It's okay to take those risks. And it's okay to ask for help and to admit that you need help. But more importantly, it's also okay to be 15 and to make the 15-year-old mistakes. To do what 15-year-olds do. At 15, I wouldn't be here. You're stronger than I was. I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have the courage. I wouldn't know what to say. I would be angry. I'd be dismissive, standoffish. I'd be a ton of things. I wouldn't be confident and comfortable and vulnerable like you are. And again, I saw that when you walked in. You don't need to tell me that. I already saw it. I could pick up on the energy. You light the room up. When Christy was up there talking about gift bags and candy, I saw your eyes light up. And I saw you looking at your mom smiling. You did this. You woke up today and decided to drive an hour to talk to a complete stranger. You took on all the risk. And guess what? No one's hurt you. You're not going to walk away here hurt. You're going to walk away here fulfilled. You're going to walk away here heard and understood. And better yet, appreciated. You're out of school for the year, aren't you?
Yeah, for at least 3 months.
3 months. You got 3 months to be whatever you want to be. I'm going to say this to you. And I want you to hear the words that I'm saying. If another person calls you a racial slur, don't take that personal. And I say that because you're strong enough and intelligent enough to know what they're actually saying to you. And that's them crying out to you for help. It doesn't take a big man or a big woman to drive past in a car and yell a racial slur to a 13-year-old. That doesn't take a big person to do that. It takes a scared person, a person that doesn't actually know you, that just wants your attention to say that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
People say things when they don't understand things. You're perfect. And don't let anybody tell you different. And all the younger siblings that you have, they see everything you got going on. And they're pushing to be like you.
Yeah,
They are. You're smart. You're intelligent. You're thoughtful. You can articulate. We are having an adult conversation, and I'm literally you are half my age. And we are going back and forth in a full-fledged conversation. At your age, my mom would tell me to stay out of grown folks' business and to go play with the kids. Yeah. I haven't even thought about saying that to you because you don't come off like that. You're strong. You're beautiful. You articulate. You're educated. You're all these awesome things. So when you leave here today and you're on your drive back home, and it's you and your mom sitting in the car, and you're looking over out the window and seeing the world outside of you, all that belongs to you. You can conquer all of it. So whatever it is you want to be, don't give up. Can I give you a hug?
of course.
Come on.
Next week on the Embracing the Journey podcast.
Like, we had our hard troubles. We had our hard times, like not enough food in the house, stuff like that.
Right.
We had somebody try to break into the house. The kid that did it, he rides my bus. And, like...
Oh, so you know the kid?
Like, you never know what could have happened at the end. Like, he might know people, and then all of a sudden, I got shot or killed.